All right, one of the questions I've got here lately is drop shot rig. We're coming into that time of the year when fishing is going to get just a little bit tough. And what I mean by that is things will slow down. The metabolism of the bass is going to start dropping. What's that mean for us fishermen that are fishing for bass? Our strike zone is going to close in. It's going to get real tight. During the great times of the year when the spring first starts and bass are feeding up, the strike zone of a bass widens up to 30 feet, sometimes 35 feet. We're approximating. So what's that mean is they see a bait 35 feet away, they're willing to go chase that bait. But as water temperatures start to cool or get excessively hot, then the strike zone starts to close in. So prime feeding time, strike zone goes out. As water temperature changes and the metabolism slows down, what happens is it starts to close in. So how do we combat that? How do we get in that strike zone and try to stay there? The rig that I'm going to show you is probably one of the best rigs for that. And basically it's called a drop shot rig. And what I like to do is start out with fluorocarbon. Drop shot is basically a way to finesse. And what I mean by finesse is basically what we're going to do is we're going to tighten things up to make them a little bit smaller and try to make it more appealing to the bass. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a drop shot rig. So here are the things that I've got that's going to hook this up. I have a size 1. It's a 1 hook and basically a weight that goes right at the bottom. I went and picked up some new ones today because mine are just all wore out. So I wanted to kind of show you what I was getting. This is called a bass casting weight. What it does is it has an eye right here at the bottom, as you see right there, that ties right to the bottom of your fishing line. And I have a 1/0 hook here. And let me show you what's unique about this hook. And those of you that fish with me know how much I love these guys. Basically what I have here is a 1/0 hook with a spring twist on it. And this spring twist, what it does is it twists right onto the bait and then hooks. Now, the good thing about this weight is I cannot use it. And what I'm going to show you here is a couple different ways we're going to rig this up. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start out with my leader. It's a fluorocarbon leader, and this one's about 30 inches long, 32 inches long. So what I do is I normally tie on my hook first, and I'll put it just like I was going to tie it to a regular line. Now, you can use just about any knot you want to here, but just make sure that you have a tag in about 8, 10, 16 inches long. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a fisherman's knot. We're going to run it in here. I'm going to run it with a tag in of about 8, 10, maybe even 15 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few more extra twists in it, more than I would on a regular fisherman's knot. And I'm going to show you why here in a second. So I got a bum finger, so it's a little bit harder here. I'm going to run that right through here. Pow. Through there. And right through there, just like a regular fisherman's knot. So basically what we did is we just tied a regular fisherman's knot on here. Don't forget to wet it. And as you can see, we have a tag in that's quite a bit longer. Wham. And that's going to come in handy for us. So now what we're going to do with our tag in is we're going to tie our weight on. Pow. You use whatever knot you use there. I'll do the same old fisherman's knot. It's hard with my bum finger. I got it boogered up today. So tie our fisherman's knot, the weight on with the fisherman's knot here. Wet that. So now what you see here is we have a weight at the bottom. We have our 1/0 hook right here in the center, and the rest of the line goes right to our pole. Like I said, I use fluorocarbon for this, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second. Okay, so now we got to pick out what type of bait is going to go in here. One of the good things about a drop shot rig is you can put anything on there. You can put a swim bait, you can put a grub, you can put a stick bait. Remember, this is finesse bait. There's one by Zoom, and it's actually called a finesse worm, and it's baby bass is the color. And this is the time of year when there's a lot of baby bass, and I like to get that baby bass color out there. Now, what I like about these little twists is that you can just twist your worm on there, just like you would if it was a frog hook. Pow. And we're going to twist it on there. And we're basically going to Texas rig it just like we would anything else. Put it down here and wham. So now we have our finesse rig and our little worm right here in the middle. So basically when you twitch that in the water, it has this action. Now the key is that you get your weight set up to where you want. You may have to play with your weights. I use a 1/4 ounce is normally what I use. Sometimes I go in a 1/2 ounce because what I like to do is I like for that weight to sit on the bottom and stay stationary, and then I can jerk that weight up and down and feel when a fish hits it. So I can feel that weight and it moving a little bit. Another great way to hook this drop shot up is, believe it or not, is a lot of time Aaron Martin loves this method, and I love this method. It's just hooking it right in that nose. And what it does is it allows that worm to really float free. As you can see there, I mean, there's just not a lot to it, so nothing is restricting that. And another great way is basically hooking it right here even with the hook and coming just out the nose of it. Now, there again, I got this method from Aaron Martin, and man, is it a trusty method. I mean, it is super, super good. Because if you remember, when a bass comes in, a lot of times they hit it head first, and they're always going to get that hook head first. So there it is. So you're working your drop shot rig, and it's sticking out there like that. You see how much movement that thing has? A lot more than if you hooked it completely. Now, that little twist on there works for a lot of things. This is the hook I use. By not using the twist, it doesn't hurt you at all. You can actually put a grub on it. As you can see here, we can twist a grub right on there. My little world famous Rodney Rogers grub. We can twist that booger just right in there like normal. And these hooks are sharp. Pow. And you can put the grub on there. So it doesn't matter what you put on there, stick baits, grubs, anything. Because remember, finesse bait rig. And what this does is it allows you to cast it beside that structure or in that open water or whatever you see on your depth finder or fish finder, and it allows you to keep that bait in there a long time. Sometimes if you're in deep water fishing, you can cast that booger out there and reel it in real slow and just bump it in across the bottom. One of the problems we have is we take this giant tackle box and we treat every day like it's optimal fishing time, when the fact is it's not. You have to adjust to what the fish are telling you to do. Believe me, somebody on that lake is catching fish. If you're not catching fish, then you're doing something wrong, or you're not fishing with the right thing. Put this drop shot in your mental tackle box, and I promise you it's going to put fish in your live well. If you're fishing tournaments or you're just fishing for fun, trust me when I say this is a phenomenal rig. When it first came out, I gave it a shot, and I'll tell you what, I absolutely love it. Right here on Lake Toho, when you fish Shingle Creek, there's some really deep holes, and if you fish the drop shot in those deep holes, man, this is a definite fish producer. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit, and a lot of times, I mean, it's just a matter of stuffing this in your mental tackle box, so when you get to the lake, when your old trusty Rusty doesn't prove to be productive, you can pull something else out of your mental tackle box. Hope this helps. Have an awesome day.